How did a guy who started with a failing gym build a $100 million empire without relying on luck or some overnight hack? Alex Hormozi cracked the code to scaling businesses, and his blueprint is surprisingly simple. It almost feels unfair to know about this. So this video is a private masterclass that I hosted inside my community, and we also do these every week, where we essentially dissected his exact funnel. It took me hours of research to get this, but we found his OG ads, his first successful funnel. You're not going to want to miss this video. Get a notepad out, lock in, and let's jump straight into it.
I highly recommend paying attention. I basically funnel hacked Hormozi's OG funnel that made him his first $10 million online. So there's no gatekeeping. This took me quite a while, a few hours to figure out this morning and yesterday. So I know a lot of you are going to find value in this. And yes, this was him when he was like early 20s. But nonetheless, here is the timeline just to give you a bit of context of how it happened. So age 23, he quit his consulting job. Age 24, started 5 gyms. Age 26, closed down the 6th gym and basically lost everything. I think a business partner took his money. So that goes to show that entrepreneurship isn't just an upward trajectory. He's lost all his money twice. He lost 100,000 to make $1 million, and he lost $1 million to make, I think, 10 million. And then he's actually lost 10 million to make 100 million. So you essentially have to lose to gain, is what I'm trying to say. But long story short, you can read this if you want. Take a photo, whatever. This is just to give you some overall context, and we're going to be diving very specific into how he made a ton of money. So what I think is most applicable to you watching this in this call would be how he made $100,000 in 30 days with only $1,000 to his name. And this did take place. I've funnel hacked him to the point where I found his OG ads. I found why his ads worked well, his YouTube funnel, his Spotify funnel. So I'm going to be diving into that in this training, but I just want to give you some overview on how he made his first 100,000, because obviously it's a bit different going from 0 to 100,000 than it is to go from 100,000 to 10 million plus. Like, he's now worth hundreds of millions, but you get the point. I just want to explain this because I think this would be very valuable to you guys in the call. So he said that he reached out to local gym owners because that was the niche that he knew best. So you could take that away by basically thinking, what industry do I know the most about? Have you worked a 9 to 5 in the past where you've maybe gathered some insights into a certain market? If not, don't worry, just go through the process. You could ask ChatGPT to give you some good questions to ask yourself about what would be a good niche. But long story short, he chose gyms and started reaching out via calling. And he basically asked them on a call if or how many clients or customers is the right terminology for gyms they could handle without changing anything about their capacity. So he would call them up and he wouldn't pitch. All he would do is simply ask the owner, how many customers can you take on? Because what you'll find is a lot of you guys are pitching your offer before they even need it. Like, some people do not need your offer. That's a topic for another day, but it's actually quite a small contingent of the market, maybe 10 to 30%, that would actually benefit from your offer if you are increasing how many appointments a business gets, if you're saving them time, if you're increasing their revenue, things like that. Because a lot of local businesses, their biggest constraint isn't actually revenue. The majority is revenue, but there's quite a few that it's not revenue and it's more time and increasing LTV and stuff like that. But long story short, he would call them up, say, how many customers can you handle without changing your capacity in your gym? He then asked them if he could fill up the capacity for them and they wouldn't have to do anything. So he would explain that, look, you don't have to do any work, don't have to pay me, 0 time on your end. And then here's the deal. He would work, or he would front the work. So he would work the leads, close the sales. So what that would look like is him possibly running Facebook ads. And the main benefit you have when you're starting is you can over deliver for clients. Like, I don't have as much time as you guys have. So your biggest asset when you're starting out is time, and that should be leveraged by delivering the best results possible to your clients, because it's a lot easier to, let's say, get one client and then that client refer you their friend or another business in the area than it is for you to continuously have to sign new, more and more clients. So that's very important. The fifth thing, and his offer was, I'll fill your gym for free in 30 days. Now that may have just been like an attention hook to get them on an appointment. If you guys aren't booking appointments right now, I promise you it's way more beneficial and it's way easier just to get appointments by offering free shit than to get no appointments in the first place. if you call up a business or if you send a DM and you don't mention that it's free or you don't mention that it's no risk on their end for whatever way you describe it, it's going to be extremely hard to book appointments. And I promise you, it took me months and months where I couldn't book appointments because I didn't mention it was free to basically bait them in onto an appointment. And then once you're on an appointment, you can then negotiate. And that is sales, by the way. Sales is trying to negotiate and come to a agreement where maybe you get a small setup fee just for the time, and then you get, I don't know, a pay on results commission basis, whatever. But if you aren't booking appointments, I promise you go for this approach. I mean, this speaks for itself. I'm not telling you to do this. This is Hormozi's words of how he made his first 100K. And then, yeah, he had $1,000 in his checking account and a credit card, and he basically put the ads on his credit card. So you don't have to be this risk orientated. You probably could just sign a client or two with some setup fees of $500, $1,000, which could be for an AI solution, because obviously the market's changed and Facebook ads isn't what it once was. So now we have like AI voice agents, and it doesn't really matter what you're selling as long as it solves a problem. And obviously, the more you speak to your niche, so the more conversations you have, the more money you'll have. That's as simple as it gets, because the more conversations you have, the more you figure out what the constraints are about the people you're trying to help. And as soon as you go from stop complaining about your own problems and why you don't have money, and you transition to trying to solve other people's problems, that is when you make a lot of money. But long story short, yeah, he had a quite unfair advantage because at that time the cost per lead was very low, so he was able to make a lot of money. But nowadays, it's like I don't see this as an advantage because yes, we don't have the same cheap cost per leads on Facebook, but what you do have is the organic content that you could post where you could literally spend $5, $10 on an editor to just cut up a video for you, and that could get you hundreds of thousands of views. So yes, like back in the day, he had that advantage, but now there's always new things that you can take advantage of in terms of trends. And obviously AI is like the fastest growing industry in the freaking world. So if you want to make money, it's just about positioning yourself as the expert by posting daily. And if you do that for 6 months, you'll probably never have to struggle with getting clients. But nonetheless, that is the process. And obviously he just spent like a shit ton of money on the thing that worked. And that's quite often how you scale to big numbers. It's not about doing new stuff every day. It's about trying to find one thing that gets you appointments and then absolutely maxing the hell out of it. Like not just, so let's say you, I don't know, start posting on Instagram about AI or YouTube about AI and it's working. Don't try and then do like TikTok ads or like Instagram or something else. Just like invest more into what's working. And by doing more and better, that is always the approach over doing something new. But if you're starting out and you haven't gotten any results yet, your whole like goal or your whole day should be set up to just try and find something that is getting you, maybe it's, I don't know, positive responses, or maybe it's just a bit of traction. Because once you get that, you then just double down and you like Hormozi, you get those exponential returns when you just do one thing very solid. Like if you look at the biggest people in the space making 1 million a month, 5 million a month, 10 million a month, they aren't doing like 10 different things. Like you look at, the biggest literal people, they have one vehicle. Like Hormozi got to, I think, 4 million a month with Gym Launch just by running Facebook ads. Obviously, Iman Gadzhi, YouTube, that's his main vehicle. You get the point. It's usually one thing that people do to get those exponential returns if you want to make serious money, to understand. So this is the part that you guys probably have been waiting for, and it's a very simple funnel, and it's something all of you can do from today onwards. And just for those who don't know, a funnel is just like the customer journey. So it's how a person would find you, how they would like you, and then buy from you, basically. But let's just go through the overview of the funnel to keep it simple and easy for you guys to understand. So we have Facebook. So Facebook ads is what you ran. We have YouTube long form, and we have Spotify long form. And in all of these three platforms, a free lead magnet took place, which was his book, I believe, or another free lead magnet for gym owners. He collected their details. At this point, they would get redirected to an application form. Once they would fill out that application form, it would be an SQL, which stands for Sales Qualified Lead at this point. After they filled out the application form, and what would happen is someone would call them up, or they would book onto an appointment. And then once they book onto an appointment, obviously they close and make money. So this is the very basic funnel. So let me just repeat this. We have traffic on here. So Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, it got views and the call to action. So he basically said in these pieces of content, whether it was an ad or a YouTube video, check out my free gym book or whatever, they would fill out a form to get access to that free thing. There would be a two-step landing page. So once they filled this out, they would fill out an application form to apply to work with Gym Launch or Hormozi, however he positioned it, and then they would close. Does that make sense, guys? I need you to just pop in the chat if you understand this, because if you don't understand this, then it's going to be very confusing as I go down the details even more. And I've actually found some of his old ads. So I know you're going to find this very, very valuable. Whether you're looking to run ads, maybe not now, but in the future, maybe it'll become of use, but nonetheless, the psychology is the same. So yeah, Facebook, which is the top part of the funnel, is his top of funnel, meaning this is how a stranger would find him through Facebook ads. Now, I think YouTube is way better for top of funnel now because people search for certain topics and then you can pop up and boom, that's the start of the customer journey. But he used Facebook as top of funnel and then also bottom of the funnel because it is what's known as a direct response form of marketing. You, say gym owners, click the link below, whatever. So if we actually look at this ad, and just actually very quickly, so he ran Facebook ads. He would, run into people people that would watch this would be the scrolling. Obviously, he would do targeted ads. So he would place this in front of like gym owners, essentially. And this would run into like unaware, problem aware, and solution aware people. And then obviously the call to action in his ad was his book, I believe, for the majority of it. Obviously, he ran different free lead magnets, stuff like that. And then once they get his book, they are now an SQL and a qualified buyer. So they're sales qualified lead, but they're also like an actual qualified buyer, meaning they've put their card in, even if it's like a $10 book or a $1 book. And it's becoming increasingly more popular nowadays to run an inbound $1 funnel where you basically just have a product that's like $1 just to get a card on file to show they're qualified basically. And then from that point on, they enter the pipeline. So that could just be your go level sub account and they just get put into there, which is really easy, just like a Facebook form submitted or whatever it may be. And then once they enter the pipeline, obviously he would have a SDR, so a sales development rep, to call up the lead who buys the book. And that's why the biggest people in the space have a book funnel. And then they book them in for an appointment as well. So that was his mini Facebook ad funnel. But let's actually take a look at this ad.
Gym owners and studio owners, my name's Alex. I'm the CEO of Gym Launch Secrets, and I want to take the next minute and a half to tell you about how I can make you money. So inside of this book, we've distilled down what we've learned from working with over 1,500 gyms in the last 2 years and how we've turned around those gyms into massive profit centers. And by doing so, using very, very boring systems. And so what we did within this book, we divided into 3 sections. And it's really the only 3 ways you can grow your gym. First is by getting new customers, right? You need to get more people, and that's one way to grow your gym. The second way is by making more money per person that's at your gym, which is by adjusting the revenue model, adjusting the price points, adjusting the packages, and the bundles that you're overall selling. The third way to do it is get people to buy more times so that if you have someone who's coming in, they buy this month, they buy the next month, they buy the next month, which in the context of a gym is called retention, okay? And so...
Yeah, I'll stop it there because I don't want to... have it take up the whole thing. But long story short, the reason this works is I'll explain right here on another ad. But the first thing that comes to mind, he calls out who he's helping at the start. So for you, that could be roofing companies, that could be HVAC, that could be online coaches, whoever it may be. You call out who you want to help. The second thing that came to my mind whilst watching that was huge amounts of social proof. So he said, we've seen this take place over 1,500 times, or we've helped over 1,500 gyms. I can't remember exactly. That is a ton of social proof. And then the third thing that came to mind was when I was watching that, there was a lot of it was an education ad, which I'll get to in a second, but I think education ads are the best. But those are the three things that I got just from watching those, or I mean, just watching that first 50 seconds. But let's look at his best performing ad. So that was just to sell his book, and that's one of the many ads that he split tested, because if you run ads, you're going to be split testing 50 different creatives, maybe 20 creatives to start with. But long story short, let's go over his best performing ad, because no matter what industry you're in, this will be applicable to all of you in this call. And it's going to help you, with whatever you're doing. So if we look at this one, I'll let this play for 30 seconds again, because I don't want it to take too long. But this is a really good ad. This made him like millions and millions of dollars. So the psychology is the same regardless.
Gym owners, in the next couple minutes, I want to show you how to make ads that will have your phone buzzing off the hook with new leads. And that's after ads stop working for you. The secret is actually the same thing that we've used to scale gym launch and hit the numbers that we have. And so that how we've acquired 2,200 plus gyms, all right? And this is my most secretly guarded possession, all right? This is what my marketing team actually uses to create ads like the ones you're seeing right now, all right? What you have to do is break the ads into the components that you know will convert your audience, all right? And so these are the components that you have to edit through. So first is your headline, right? You have to have your duration. You have to make sure that you're gender biased so that you're making a headline that makes sense for the specific gender, that you're tying the benefits to the status. You have curiosity. You can tie it against fear, some negative that they're worried about, right? And if you can, throw in a power word, a challenge, an accelerator, a blueprint, whatever it is that makes this sexy, all right? Next is that your copy has to be compelling, but not just compelling. You have to say the benefit of the benefit. What I mean by that is not just say, hey, you'll have results fast, but more so what it would feel like to be in a dress size that you've seen in your closet for 2 months, and what it would feel like to put that on and go out to dinner with your husband for the first time. That is what they want. They don't want a challenge. They want the result, and they want to feel the experience of what it feels like to walk in those results, all right? Next is it is useful to change up the business title that you're doing this from. If you've been marketing for a while in the same audience, sometimes it serves well to change the business title that you're marketing under, because it just refreshes and takes away banner blindness. The next is your creative, all right? That's gonna be your images and your videos, all right? Inside of here, I have all the different variations that we have seen work absolutely best across the 140,000 leads a month that Gym Launch generates for our gyms, and the $3.2 million a month that our gyms collectively spend in advertising.
So that's basically, let me just see the call to action, because the call to action is always good to understand how he
link, and you can download it for free. When you get to the landing page, you'll see a landing page like this, except it won't be drawn out. And you can download it for free. On the next page, I want you to fill out a couple of questions. The reason for that is that what I want you to do is schedule a call time with one of our business consultants, and they'll walk you through which of these frameworks will work best for your business right now, so you can start seeing the results as fast as humanly possible. Okay? Now, specifically with these questions, we only work with gym owners who are real gym owners, who have a facility, they have 25 clients, and they're full-time. So no part-timers, no side hustlers. It just doesn't work for us. The commitment's not there. But if you are that, we can absolutely help you crush it. So if you want to have these 11 frameworks, they're absolutely free. Click the link, then fill out the quiz, and then on the thank you page, schedule a call.
Yeah, so he's basically explaining it as simply as possible, because you have to remember, if you're ever going to run ads for you or your clients, the audience needs like literal next steps. You have to tell them exactly what to do, like where the link is. Obviously the free helps, tremendously. But what I did was actually break down the main reasons this helps into like 4 or 5 points. So if you run ads for you or your clients in the future, this is basically all you need to do as a framework. So call out who you help. That's the first thing. Have a curiosity gap. So this gets the viewer wondering how. So I believe he said something like, I can't remember exactly what he said at the start, but if a gym owner was watching that, they would be thinking to themselves, how are all these gyms that he helps like getting such great results, right? That's a curiosity gap. You can include that with social proof. And he removes a common objection straight away, because he realized, and this is, as I said, the main benefit of speaking to your niche. Even if you don't get clients, even if you just book appointments and just get, I don't know, some answers from your questions, he knew that these types of business owners have probably ran ads in the past and have probably been burnt in the past and failed. So he said, yeah, we can, or this framework will help you get a ton of leads, even if your ads have stopped working, or even if, yeah, you've tried in the past. So that's just a quick one to remove a common objection, and then just hard social proof. And then I guess the final thing, which I should have put here, was like very clear repeating call to action. So he didn't just say like download the whatever it was. So I'll put hard CTA. Yeah, he didn't just say it once. He didn't say like, oh, just click the link below and you'll see a free guide. He said click the link below and you'll see the free guide on a landing page. And then once you do that, fill out this quiz. And then he even repeated that again at the end. So those are the main 5 things if you're going to run an ad, and you can obviously tweak it to whoever you help. And that, I think most of this, so just for context, these 4 first things here, so calling out who he helps, having a curiosity gap, removing common objections, and hard social proof was all done in the first 15 seconds of the ad, which is pretty insane. And then the rest of the ad was education. And I think educating ads are best for long-term growth. It's very interesting. A lot of people, especially me, when I started running ads, I was just looking for like an ROI or a return on ad spend as soon as possible. But it was a massive belief change that I had to have when I realized the best like ads are those that don't actually get a return on ad spend, which sounds like crazy. Because you're probably thinking like, what's the point of running ads if you don't make your money back? I think Rory Sutherland, he's an amazing guy to look into if you're interested in marketing. What I was saying was the best ads, don't actually get a return on ad spend. If you look at companies like New Balance, most of you know the shoes, New Balance, I assume, they were actually losing money for like a lot of years. I think it was only until probably 10 years ago or 15 years ago that they actually like started to make a comeback. And until that point, they were just on like a very negative decline. So they hired I think a different CTO, but also a marketing, a different marketing guy. I don't think it was a new CEO. I think they just hired a new marketing department. And the problem that New Balance had was they essentially burnt through all the goodwill in their ads by just saying like, here are the best shoes, like click the link below. And they were very like direct response ads. And if you know anything about marketing, the way in which you get people to convert is by like, knowing, and trusting you essentially. But with New Balance, they were very just like, you'd see an ad and it would tell you to buy as the consumer. But that gets very like repetitive. It can burn out very quickly compared to educating ads, where people can see this maybe 2, 3, 4 times like over. And if they learn something, that is when goodwill is created. And just a heads up for those that are creating content for yourself, if you do it for maybe 4 weeks to 8 weeks, I've never seen anyone lose money in business by running retargeting ads to people that have seen their content. So what that would look like is if you're posting on Instagram, let's say you're posting reels on a daily basis, or YouTube, and if you just upload your followers to Meta, and let's say you've got maybe 1,000 followers. So I wouldn't do it if you have less than like 1,000 or a few thousand followers. But once you get to that point, just upload that to Meta and then just follow this framework, as well as maybe throwing in some like static ads. So that could just be like a Canva or like a notes, like an iPhone notes, calling out. But I guess it's the same framework. Even if it's like an image ad, you would still have this same framework right here. But long story short, I want to get into some more YouTube and stuff, because this is and by the way, if you haven't realized, you should be like maybe not doing the Facebook ads yet. This is more for when you get a few clients and you have like maybe 1,000, 2,000 a month to invest into your business. I mean, Hormozi I'm pretty sure he just ran it like straight away. He just put it on a credit card and just like, so as I said, he had to lose like he's lost a lot of money is what I'm trying to say. You have to lose. And if you want to be a good entrepreneur, the definition of an entrepreneur is someone that takes like a lot more risk than the average person. I mean, you can look up the definition of an entrepreneur on Google after, but it's basically someone that has to take on a lot of risk. I can't remember the exact definition, but long story short, let's move on to YouTube and Spotify very quickly, and then we'll just get into his offer and like what he actually offered and the pricing behind it. So Yeah, and just to help you guys, you could be doing Facebook DMs. It doesn't have to be like paid advertising. In my opinion, all forms of advertising are paid, not in money, but it could be your time, it could be sweat equity. You still have to pay to get clients, if that makes sense. Just in this case, he prefers to use money because money is much more abundant than time is. Time is very limited once you get or once you understand the game, basically. But yeah, this could be Facebook DMs for you or Instagram DMs. It depends on who you're helping and where your niche spend the most time. But once again, you can still take away this stuff. So YouTube, I think everyone in this course should be posting on YouTube because it's top of funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. So I get around 150 to 200,000 long form views per 28 days on YouTube. And that doesn't sound like a lot because people have like short form videos that get millions of views, right? But what you have to understand about YouTube, especially long form, is that it's very high intent prospects who are all problem aware. Because how this works is, let's say you go onto YouTube and you search for like lead generation, or if you search for, I don't know, just anything else as a business owner would search. And if you're the person that pops up, the people who are going to be watching that video have already searched for that thing. So they're already problem aware because they understand and they're looking for a video in that certain topic. Does that make sense, guys? So if you're the person that pops up and it's around AI, if it's around automation, whatever your specialty is, and if your video pops up and if you can take up that digital real estate, digital real estate on YouTube or TikTok or whatever it may be, because people are searching, that is by far the best people. So those like 200,000 long form views that I get, those are people who are all problem aware. They're all business owners. So now it's like, now you can see how that makes me a lot of money. Just if you were curious what he posted as his first videos, you can see that the thumbnails aren't good. And I think for those starting YouTube, you have to understand that, your first 50 videos are going to absolutely suck. Mine got like 50 views for the first like 25 videos. It's just part of the process. I think the goal of posting like 25 videos should be to see your first and compare it to your 25th. And you'll notice how much better you are at speaking, how much better you are in terms of making the thumbnail. And obviously you'll be a lot faster. I do recommend outsourcing the thumbnail very soon once you get like 100 subs or even 200 subs. And just for context, the reason YouTube is so powerful is because even if you have 1,000 subscribers, that can make you 10K per month. Because typically with YouTube long form, there's the 1% rule. So 1% of an audience will convert. So 1% of 1,000 is 10 people. And let's say you just charge 1K a month, you can make 10K a month with literally 1,000 subscribers. I booked, I think, 54 appointments in 7 days just by having one video go viral like a year and a half ago. So highly recommend it if you are wanting to get more out of your time. Focus on building the assets that do compound and that have like exponential growth. Like what I was saying about doubling down on the things that work. It's all about compounding. And if you look at Warren Buffett, he would probably advise you to create a channel. Just a quick one. In terms of, so I know some people are going to have questions around what it is that you have in the description or what you sell in the video. I would recommend like giving the you don't want to tell people to go into the description straight away, because if you do that in this portion, that's going to decrease views massively and YouTube won't push it to the algorithm, because the only two metrics you need to get really good at on YouTube is, let me just write this down. You have CTR. So CTR is click-through rate. So that is the topic. So I'll put topic. You have, I guess, title. And then you have the thumbnail. I'll just put thumbnail, which is the image. So that's the first metric that you need to get. And just for context, there's only so much you can do with the title and the thumbnail. It's more about the topic. So you'll notice that if you post a video like on, let's say, something that's trending, like a new AI tool, you could have a shit title and a shit thumbnail, but you'd still probably get a few thousand views just because the topic outweighs the title and thumbnail. So to make it very clear, if you made a video on like how to groom your dog or whatever, like no one really cares about that. So no matter how good the title is, or thumbnail, it would never get views compared to you just making, yeah, bad title, bad thumbnail, but very popular topic. You get the point. So that's the first one. And then the second one is retention. So you want to get people to actually watch the video. And by the way, this isn't just for YouTube. This is for Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever form of video you post on the internet as an asset. These are the two, I guess, if it's short form, you can disqualify this one. This is only for like YouTube where you get people to click on, if that makes sense. But obviously, yeah, any other social media you post, retention is by far the most important thing, because these platforms like TikTok, Instagram, they spend tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions per year on psychology and psychologists to basically figure out how they can keep a consumer on their platform for as long as possible. For example, when you go on YouTube, on average, you're likely to spend, I think, 42 minutes. And that's just like a statistic across every single person that goes onto YouTube. As soon as you go onto that homepage where you're met with maybe 20 videos, you're likely to spend 42 minutes per session, which is pretty crazy because you probably go on there for like a 5-minute video, 10-minute video, and boom, next thing you know, you're watching like, I don't know, some degenerate videos, like, yeah, 2 hours in. But long story short, yeah, retention is very important. So all you can do to optimize retention is in the first like 30 seconds, which is the most important part of the video, because you basically want to tell them to watch to the end so they can get something for free or something like a bonus right here. Does that make sense? So you, in the intro, if you, I can't want to explain too much about YouTube because I don't want to make this like a YouTube training, but yeah, in the first 10 seconds, just have the, what's the framework? It's like the 3Ps. So the 3Ps are, I'll put, yeah, the 3Ps right here. So this is how you intro a YouTube video to get the best retention. So the first one is promise. So when people click on a video, they want to be met with, or they want to see what they clicked for. For example, if this title, so the number one mistake I'm seeing gyms make right now, if Hormozi starts talking about something that isn't this title straight away, then people are going to click off. So you need to align the actual video with what the title is. So that's the first P. That's very important. And this should be done in like the first 5 seconds by saying, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the number one mistake I'm seeing gyms make right now. And that just aligns the title and the video. The second one is proof. So it's more important who you are than what you say. You guys could say the same thing as Elon, but Elon would get like millions and millions of likes and you wouldn't because he's Elon Musk and you're not. So it's more about who you are than what you say. Same with outreach, by the way. You could say the worst opening message ever to your prospects, like, hey, I saw your video online, great job. And if you have good like social proof and you have followers and you have a nice aesthetic page with nice lifestyle photos, you will get like responses over someone that could have the best copywriting ever that would never get a response in the DMs. So yeah, very important. And then the final one is plan. So this is all in the first like 30 seconds, if not 15 seconds of a YouTube video, because plan is basically you explaining what they're going to get in the video, and that obviously increases retention. So that could be like, yeah, I'm going to show you five mistakes gym owners are making if you watch to the end, or make sure you watch to the end because you'll get the most valuable one at the end. So that's just how you increase retention. In terms of short form, because I know some of you are posting onto like TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff to get clients. This is done in a slightly different way. If you're doing short form, typically it's only going to be like a 30-second video. So what you have to do on short form is take it like, I would say 3 seconds at a time. So 3 seconds at a time, and that's all you're trying to get the viewer to watch. And each social media rewards people that watch, for long, and that's how the algorithm pushes it to more people. It's based off retention. It's not based off likes. It's not based off comments. It's simply based off retention. But for example, yeah, you could follow the same framework. But you want to have the hook, obviously. So the hook, and then it's like the curiosity gap. So maybe you could ask a question right here to make them stick. But you get the point. I don't want to go into short form, but I've also seen a massive trend right now where you have like the comments. Comments are absolutely huge, not for like boosting the video to the algorithm, because as I said, videos aren't pushed based off comments. But what you can do is basically start comments to get people I don't know if you guys noticed this, but whenever you click on a YouTube video, you probably go to the comments. Same with like Instagram, same with other things, just to see what like people are talking about. So you can basically get people to comment, and you can also start conversations in the comments with people that watch your videos. And then they'll have the video playing in the background whilst they're reading the comments, and stuff like that, or whilst they're actually commenting if you tell them to comment as a CTA. So that's just more like of a strategy of what I've seen working right now. But long story short, the two he has changed this because obviously he wasn't doing this back then, but I assume it was a very similar framework where you have two links in the description. Because let me remove this, but in YouTube, for example, you see there's a more here button. So that means that the viewer can see two links when they click on the thing without clicking on this more button. So it's important you have your top two links in the description. So this would be your free lead magnet for your niche, and then this would be ideally booking a call with you, or something like that. But very important, have two links in your description before the more, and then in the more, obviously you can do whatever you want, like, I don't know, your Instagram, whatever. But long story short, yeah, people that would fill out the form would go to or go into the pipeline, and then just a simple caller would call them up and put them in for an appointment, and then they would make money. Now for Spotify, yeah, I'll try and speed on this because it's been a long one today. Nurturing. So just for clarity, Facebook is for like top of funnel. So how strangers find him. Same with YouTube. People could be scrolling on YouTube and find him, but this is solely for like nurturing. And I'm pretty sure he just like repurposed this. So just take this and put it into an MP3 instead of an MP4 and just post it to like your own thing here. And then you can direct people in your Instagram story or whatever your like main platform is over to this, and people will watch it and then like, know, and trust you, because each one of these platforms, and I recommend if you're starting out, guys, just have two platforms. For me, my funnel is like YouTube and Instagram. Yours could be Facebook DMs and YouTube. It really depends on where your niche spends the most time, but at least like have one like inbound asset like thing, whether it's videos on some platform and then maybe some outbound on another platform. But hopefully that explains his funnel. I've tried to make it as simple as possible, but to get his first like 100K, he I think he called, and then once he got money, so once you get like a few thousand, I do recommend trying to focus on more of like the compounding assets, because logically that is how you're going to make exponential returns. If you're wondering what he actually offered, I don't know if this is 100% true. This is what I've heard. His price point was $799, so $799 per week, and there was a hefty contract that he made gym owners sign to basically make them stay for, I think, 16 weeks. So what's that, like 4 months? I don't know. I'm not the best at it's not the best at maths, but that's an estimate. And overall, I think, I can't do the maths of how much exactly that is, whatever that is times by 16. I'm sure some of you can do the maths on that. But yeah, that is his price point, and that was for his upper tier program. I've also heard rumors that he charged like a 2K setup fee. So this is just what I've heard, that he charged a 2K setup fee, and that was for like, I think either 14 days or 1 month, where he would run ads for them, or he would, help them with something. And then after the 14 days, it would then be a weekly payment. But if you're starting out, guys, you could just have the setup fee as like 1K or 2K, and then you could just have your monthly thing. And then obviously, if you want to make big money, like 100K a month, you're going to have to collect pay in fulls. So PIFs or pay in fulls, however you want to say it. Those are basically where instead of you getting like a 2K setup fee, and then it's like this per week, you basically charge like 5K for, let's say, like 3 months, for like 90 days, as an example. And that is how people get to 50K a month and 100K per month, because they basically get pay in fulls, for more time that allows them to then deploy this cash. So now you have more money up front. And just for context, you can actually, so let's say you charge 1K a month to keep the math simple. So that is 3K for 90 days. You could even offer them 2K for 90 days or 2.5K for 90 days, which is a discount if they pay in full. So that's something that you can organize, just because it's a lot more valuable. Like for you guys in this call, I promise you, same with like most humans, it's a lot more valuable to have like 2.5K today than 3K in 3 months from now. Just because, yeah, that's how economics works. But you basically can then deploy that cash to make you more money. So that's why getting cash now is more valuable. So yeah, that's just how to price. And this was his main like headline for his offer on more of like a macro thing. So 7 money models we use to scale gyms to over 100,000 a month, like clockwork, very powerful. It's got a quantifiable outcome here. It's got who it is for. And this was, I believe, on his landing page. And then his actual offer was a 3-step process. So this is what you could explain to your clients on a sales call, because you want to keep it quite high level, not too in depth. But it's basically a 3-step sales process. Sorry, not a sales process, but a 3-step process. And it was a gym launch acquisition system, and it basically was a promise to fill your gyms in 90 days with high-paying clients. And from what I've heard, he originally, to get to about like 10K a month, and this is what I recommend all of you doing, to get to like 10K a month, I believe it was done for you. So he would run the ads for his clients. But then obviously as you scale, you can't just keep like doing this. Now he could have hired media buyers to run ads for his clients, but what you'll find is the margins go down. So what he actually did was created a program, and this is the offer that I would probably be recommending to you guys if you are selling some sort of like, I don't know, growth offer. So it could be traffic and some AI like solution or whatever you guys are selling. But I would recommend having it as like a program where maybe if you're starting out, just do it for your clients, because you would get them like better results, or it would save them time. So it's more valuable and they're more likely to pay you. And just for those that are new to this space, there's only 3 things you can really sell online. So done for you, done with you, which is you like coaching them on it, and then do it yourself, which is a course. I recommend starting out with this because it's the easiest to sell. So if you want to make money, you would sell this basically, because people love the fact that it's done for them. They don't have to do it themselves. But the downside, because with every pro, so if it's easy to sell, there's going to be a downside, and it's scalability. It's very hard to scale past 15, 20 clients. And I've tried doing this myself, and it's very hard to get past like 20 clients when you do it all for your clients, even if you hire like talent, because then margins go down and you start like breaking even and stuff like that. But then you have done with you. So this is like middle in terms of how hard it is to sell. People prefer done for you, obviously, but yeah, it's not the hardest thing to sell, but this is way more scalable. So this is way more scalable. And then do it yourself is obviously the hardest to sell. No one likes courses, but it's obviously the most scalable. And I believe, yeah, his gym launch program was it comprised of different systems. So let's say the first one was like a reactivation. So I believe he would get them to like email and SMS. Like, so I'll put email here. So email, SMS, old customers, because every single business on planet Earth, assuming they've been in business for more than 6 months, they have old customers. So why would you start running ads, or why would you start generating traffic when the business you're helping has had customers in the past? Let's say you're helping like a med spa. It's the easiest place to get conversions. You just simply launch a new offer for them. It could be like a discount for a weekend or whatever, and you just promote that via email and SMS to all the people that have bought from you in the past. Does that make sense? And that would probably be the first thing that he would do. And I believe he had a plug and play template. So is that done for you? Probably not, but it's like very easy, because you explain that it's plug and play on the sales call, that is more like, yeah, attractive than, oh, you have to do it yourself, where you send the emails and stuff. So for you guys, you could give them the sub account with like a snapshot of this inside. And then that's the first step of the actual offer that I believe he ran. The second one is probably like traffic. So obviously they need leads. So this would be his lead generation system. And I believe he would just give them, yeah, like Facebook ads. And when he was making a lot of money, this was, I believe, like more of a course. It wasn't actually like an agency, which surprises a lot of people. And just for context, every single person I know that has had an agency, once you get past like 20K a month, they all transitioned into like having trainings in their actual offer, because obviously it's not scalable to actually do it for every single client if you have hundreds of clients, which makes sense. But yeah, hopefully this is becoming a bit easier. And then this one is probably just like, I don't know, I can't remember what the third step was, but that should give you enough context into his offer. And then this is all described. You would never sell, like, you would never sell this stuff. You would sell it as the 3-step like money making machine. Does that make sense? You never sell the actual result, like the features. You always sell the results. As he said in his ad, he said that people don't want to buy like mechanisms or challenges or stuff like that. For the people that he was helping in terms of gym owners, their ICP, their ideal client profile, let's say it was a woman, is how she wants to look in that dress. That is what you're selling. But obviously, in this case, you're selling them on the fact that you're going to do this for them. It's going to be hands off on their end, and you're going to, do the 3-step AI process or whatever you want to market it as, because it needs to sound attractive. And then ideally, you would offer it for free or results basis to get them on an appointment and then negotiate. But that is basically it. I won't go anymore because it's been a bit too long, this one, I think. But hopefully you guys have got like quite a lot from this. I'll obviously put this into the community because I'm sure some of you would want to like click on the ads and watch it again. Just for like in the future as well, when you are going to run ads, you can always go through this again in terms of like clicking on the ad and just going through the framework, because this, by the way, was the ad that made him like tens of millions, I think. So yeah, very, very powerful stuff.